Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. We are back for another youth review. I'm joined once again by our academy expert, David Pritt. How are you doing, mate?
I'm good, thank you.
You always wince slightly when I call you the academy
I don't like that because
expert.
the moment I make a mistake, everyone's going to be hounding me.
They know, they're nice. They're really nice at home. You're more of an expert than us, than me, certainly. So, and you've proven your expert status down the years. Don't worry about that. We're here, of course, to talk about, the games, the players. Not that many games happened. Well, there's been 4 since we last spoke, which is a strange thing. We try to do these every couple of weeks, but they don't play enough, do they?
No, they usually do, but there's been, I think the weather's not helped, and that Premier League break, I think they affected that as well, so it's just a bit disappointing.
Yeah. But we have had a few games, though. We spoke just before the Leeds game for the under-18s last time, and we'll get to that soon. Obviously, last night, though, was a big game for the under-23s. They beat Stoke 3-2. We saw the return of a few players. We saw a few good performances as well.
Yeah, it was a strange one because it was a very strong team. They had, from the first team, Tuanzebe, Tim Fosu-Mensah, we've not seen play really much recently. Gomes was in there, Chong, Dylan Levitt, who's been out, not injured, he's been ill. Good to see him back. Yeah. Garner, he was there. And it was a really good performance first half. 2 goals by James Garner, 2 great goals, one a header and one a chip over the keeper, and a Gomes goal, and he also got assist for one of Garner's, and you're thinking 3-0 at half time. Easy mode.
Easy, this one. 4-0, 5-0, what did it end?
3-2.
Yeah.
Defensive errors that we'll probably talk about in a minute.
So what happened? So these goals that we've seen, like I said, the under-23s, when's the last time they played before this?
They played Norwich away, I think.
It was a little while ago, wasn't it?
Early January.
Yeah, so it
was January. I'm not sure if it's early. Sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, we saw James Garner, of course, come in. I think he's got 9 goals this season now.
He's been on fire goal-wise. From what I've seen of him in younger age groups, he scored goals, but he was never much of a goal scorer. But this season has been unreal, and he won the corner for the goal he scored. He had a great strike outside the box, tips over the bar, corner comes in, just good header from him, really, and he's not known for headering goals like that, and so it's great to see. But his second goal was just even better.
Yeah, lovely goal. Why don't you talk us through that one?
Well, it was bizarre. They went to Stoke had a goal, flag was up. A lot of Stoke fans moaning about it, but to be honest, I don't even know if it was offside or not.
No VAR.
They had replays, but they just didn't show the controversial things.
Yeah, sure.
So, and then we just go down the other side of the pitch, and just an amazing ball from Gomes, like round the corner flick over the top. Garner gets it and then chips it over the keeper. Brilliant goal.
Like sort of chip over his shoulder almost.
Oh yeah, it was just like a blind pass. Yeah. It was brilliant. They were whinging a bit. I don't know how it looks on the TV, but Chong was off in an offside position. He didn't touch the ball. He stayed back a bit, but I think they were disappointed that they didn't call it offside. Yeah. And I can understand if it was, but I'm happy it wasn't.
Yeah, it's not like United have had been on the other end of that recently as well, is it? We just had one ruled out for that against.
I don't know, that's perfectly offside.
That was actually offside, though. It was laid in front of the goal.
No
you can't
controversy
do that
at all.
Because otherwise, imagine if that wasn't offside. Every time you had a free kick from outside the box, someone would just lay in front of the goalkeeper.
Exactly.
Like I know that someone put a thing where they had a picture, like their telly at home, and there's a cushion on the floor. And that was
funny. It's quite funny.
But you could, otherwise you could just line like 6 players up in front of the goal. If they don't touch him, it don't count. Nah, it was offside. Yeah. Anyway, back to the under 23s then. So the 3-0 up at this point. I think I saw something actually that James Garner sort of said, or someone implied at least that Garner had said that he wanted to get more goals, and he obviously has done that.
It's good to see him back as well with Dylan Levitt.
Yeah.
They've always been that midfield partnership for as long as I can remember watching him. And they work so well together. 2 different type of players, but that midfield's brilliant. And now they've got someone like Ethan Galbraith with him as well, who he played quite deep, actually. I was quite surprised how deep he was playing last night, because for me, he should be always on the edge of the box, because when he strikes the ball, I've never seen anyone hit one like it.
It stays here.
It just, I have a little joke with him when I see him, when he scores. It's just, I want you to score a tap in one day, because it's just, every goal's just amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, they played well. I thought Gomes played well. Chong played well. But the main problem was defensively. We just can't defend headers. It was a free kick.
They must be coaching this, because it's a problem in the first team as well.
The problem was, I'll give Tuanzebe credit. He did clear one off the line, but they would put both him and Fosu Mensah, sorry, they were poor for the headers. I think especially the first one, just a free header.
So these were Stoke's 2 goals we're talking about.
Yeah. The first one was just a free kick put in, and Fosu Mensah's one side, Sunzabe's the other, and they just don't do anything, let him just a free header, and it's just disappointing, especially experienced players like that. There's a player we'll talk about in a minute for the 18s. He came on in that game, Tedden, who, for me, he'd do 10 times better than that if a ball comes in.
So with them two then, do you think part of that's just a bit of lack of game experience at the moment? They're not quite on the ball the way they should be, because neither of them have. I mean, Fosu Mensah's hardly played in a year, has he?
I know, and Tuanzebe really as well.
He's what, since November? Was
exactly.
He for United?
Possibly that's what it is, but at the end of the day, these are professional players now, and they should be better than that.
Yeah,
I can give them the benefit of the doubt that they didn't, but if it happened in the next game, you'd be a bit worried.
Yeah, you're kind of thinking this might be a bit of a trend. We saw in the first team, obviously not to bring it back to the first team too much in this, but it has been a theme of the first team as well, hasn't it? This sort of inability to defend set pieces. I think we look slightly better against Everton, but I wonder, because, Tuanzebe was known for being, physically strong and good in the air at Villa.
Well,
or do you think he's not necessarily
maybe, to be fair, I never saw him much at Villa. I saw him a couple of times, but there's a discussion that we used to always have watching him when it was under 21s, saying he wasn't really that good in the air.
Right, okay.
Like I say, he did redeem himself. He headed one off the line that would have been the equaliser. So, yeah, it's
been kind of a known thing.
Yeah.
So overall, then, how do you think they looked? It was good, certainly, like I said, to see Levitt and Garner back when it.
Yeah,
the
definitely.
Performance overall was positive.
Yeah, definitely with Levitt, because he was on the cusp of getting. I know he played in Kazakhstan, but I think he's on the cusp of getting a chance in the cup. He was on the cusp of playing for Wales.
Yeah, it's unfortunate as well, because the time when he got his illness was when United had no midfielders, wasn't it? I think he probably would have got another chance in there somewhere.
It was just a shame for him. So good to see him back. Yeah, like I say, I'm a big fan of them too. I'm with them all the way. Although I do feel that they should be on loan. If they're not going to get in the first team, I just think they're wasted in that reserves. I think it'd be great if a team had taken both, rather than the two separate players, if they can keep them together.
It's like when it's like puppies in like a shelter, and it's like, well, they're brother and sister, so we want them to be in the same home. Well, they get on. But I know what you mean, because they have such a great partnership.
They complement each other, and the trouble is, it's Manchester United midfield. I mean, how many players who are, how old are they, 19, 20, are going to get into United's midfield? Yeah. You've got to bide your time.
Especially both at once.
Look at players like, I bring him up, but people always moan on this. When I say Jesse Lingard, I know he's not playing great at the moment, but he has been good for us in the past. It took him a few years to get in that midfield. Darren Fletcher, someone who stayed in that midfield for years, took him. You want
I feel you wanted to play him at 16, but it still took him 4 or 5 years before he became the Fletcher.
You've got to understand that. I know it's the under 23s, and I don't want players to say to the under 23s, because if you're not made it by the time you're 23, I don't think you're really going to make it United. But these players, I think they should go out on loan.
Yeah,
I think it'll do the world of good for them. They're playing more competitive football than the reserves, and it only can improve him.
And we saw even with Scott McTominay, who's obviously coming now, he was 21 when he came through, and that's still 2 years away.
But would he have got? I always look at, he got in. All look really. He's a Mourinho type of player, big, tall, strong. If it was the year before when he was much smaller, I don't think he'd have got in that.
No, maybe not.
But he stayed in, and that's what. Once you get your chance, you can stay in there. But them two players, I think that it's going to take a couple more years. I think they're good enough, but it's going to take a couple more years.
But part of why it takes midfielders and defenders especially a little bit longer is because you do need to be strong, you do need to be physically able, and obviously McTominay was kind of freakish in how much he grew, but that still plays a role with Garner and Levitt.
And you got to be realistic. I mean, at the moment you're going to drop Fernandez for someone like Garner. It's not going to happen at the moment, but you just got to bide your time, go on loan, play in the cup games, stuff like that, and it'll come. Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the under-18s then. We've seen 3 games from them at least.
Yeah, it's been a while though.
So there's been a bit. So the Leeds game was, I think the last video came out the day before the Leeds game, or maybe even the day off.
I think it's day off, yeah.
So we'll go back to that, talk us through that.
Yeah, really good game actually. At Old Trafford, atmosphere-wise.
Youth Cup, of course.
Yeah, Youth Cup. That was the 5th round.
Yeah.
Leeds brought a load of fans in their way, and it was
more than. Were there more Leeds fans than United fans there?
No, but there was.
It was pretty even.
It was more. There was more United, but they filled the away allocation.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah. They had a great atmosphere. Typical Leeds singing songs that we don't really like, but yeah.
I mean, that's part of. Obviously, you never condone it, but part of the reason why rivalries are founded and are sustained is because some teams say things you probably should obviously never take things too far, but you need a bit of,
if you don't take it too seriously, that's. But yeah, tough game really. Hannibal Mejbri, he was getting kicked around all the time. But the problem is for him, with me, I'm a big fan of him. I think he's skillful and that, but he's still at age where he gets kicked and he'll roll around on the floor when he just get up because he likes kicking people as well. And I think people would respect him more if he carried on doing what he's doing, but got up and just get on with
Pushed it off.
Because if you're rolling around and then get up and then foul someone yourself, and then moaning about them rolling on the floor,
it's a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
But all in all, good game. Hugo Worth scored, got 1-0, but unfortunately he got injured and was off, and we've not seen him back since.
Okay. I saw a load of people, because we sent quite a few people from the office, I think Alex and Callum and a couple of others went as well, and obviously you were there. Everyone was raving about Ted Mengi. And every time you come on here, you keep talking about it, It seems that there is just a bit more of a kind of mainstream appreciation for it now.
But I'm constantly being told, stop overhyping these youngsters. But this kid's unreal. Like I said, I saw him 15. Well, for the 18s, I saw him at 15 for the first time, and he looked the best player on the pitch.
Really?
He's and now he's just so dominating. He looks like it's a cross between Vidic and Ferdinand. He can go forward with the ball. He can be tricky with the ball like Ferdinand could. He can head it away. He can put a tackle in like Vidic could, and he doesn't panic either. If the ball needs to go out for a throw-in just to get rid of it, he'll do that. He's just got it all in, and he's massive as well. His shoulders about this big, and he just
that's so good, isn't it? It's one of them. I think like we're talking about with the midfielders, Garner and Levitt. I think if you want to come through as a centre back, it's rare that you see someone sort of, how old is he? 18? 17. So again, it probably will be a couple more years, but it's so exciting to have someone that, like I said, even at 15 was playing for the under 18s.
The thing is now he's captaining the under 18s, and he just looks too good for it. He looks the level above, and when he's playing for the 23s, sometimes when he looks too good for that as well, when he's like a 17-year-old.
Do you think he might go on loan as well somewhere, maybe?
Possibly. Like I say, he's 17. You don't.
It's hard
maybe
to know,
maybe keep him on another year, get to 18, and then
take it from there.
Probably.
Because I mean, to be fair, I think.
What was it? Sorry.
No, go on.
What we should do is like we used to do. We had that. I can't remember the name of the team. We had that Belgian team where we used to loan all the players out.
Was it?
Royal Antwerp, was it?
Was it Royal Antwerp? I think it might have been. Yeah.
We need a club like that.
Yeah.
Imagine sending Ted and Dylan,
perfect.
Jimmy, and just sending them there all as a unit, working on playing competitive football. It'd be the world
first
good
team
for
experience at a sort of slightly lesser league.
But we don't seem to have that.
No, I need to look into that actually, because I remember that was a lot in the 90s and in the 2000s, wasn't it? We used to send and get players from there a lot. And we don't seem to have a connection with a team like that anymore. It was almost like Manchester United twinned with Royal Antwerp. It was Royal Antwerp.
I'm sure it was Royal Antwerp.
Yeah, or if it wasn't, it was a similar team, a Belgian team. It would be excellent if we had some sort of. I mean, unofficially, we kind of have Salford, which has played a similar role, but the level's a lot lower, isn't it?
Well, they've never loaned anyone out to Salford. Salford have got players that have come from
Former United players, that's
so I don't think United would do stuff with Salford because there's a conflict of interest, especially with Nicky Butt.
Yeah, it's a strange situation at the best of times, isn't it? Right, moving on then. So after the Leeds game, United played Derby.
Yeah, in the league.
In the league.
We did all right. Got beat 2-1, but it just wasn't to be. I thought Martin Seversky, he's played defensively really, but he played him in the centre of the park like a number 6 role, and he really impressed me. And it was unfortunate. He was just diving in tackles, winning every one of them. Just looked like a hard player. He's only young, but he looked really good. And unfortunately, he made a double tackle, and then one of the tackles hit off a United player, went to the Derby player, and then they ended up scoring from it. Yeah, it was just an unfortunate game. Yeah, Charlie Wellens ended up getting a goal. Yeah. He's been playing well. Has he got a future? Possibly.
Yeah.
But we'll have to see more of him.
Strikers are always tricky.
Well, he's more like he plays like a number 7 role, he's not a winger, but he's a bit forward. But yeah, you just got to wait and see with him.
And then after that, so not the worst. I mean, obviously it's a loss, but like I said, the league and stuff isn't always quite so.
No, I think they're putting all their eggs in the basket of the Youth Cup this year.
As we saw in the quarterfinal of the Youth Cup. When was that game against Wigan?
That was last Friday.
Friday. A 2-1 win there, and we saw. Well, let's talk about it. What happened with that one?
So obviously, Dylan Hugerworth was still injured. So Deji Satana he came on in the Leeds game, and he kept his place because we didn't have any other striker. He did quite well actually. helped set up the first goal for Shortire. He came on the right, passed it to Wellens, who'd laid it off to Shortire, took it onto his right and just ferocious shot in the bottom corner. Young lad, he's only just turned 16. He's got the record in the UEFA Youth League of the youngest ever player to play.
Really?
Yeah, he still looks like a little kid. It's unreal. It's unreal when you see him. But big news with him today that he's signed scholarship forms and he's got a pre-contract. So the moment his 17th birthday this time next year, he's going to have a contract for United, because probably a bit worried about it. You know, he's a good player, and at this age, other teams can come in and grab him.
So do you think he looks? Would you say? Sort of, obviously Mengi's, he's the sort of hot pick for the under-18s, but who, after Mengi, who have we got that's sort of pushing for that kind of best player in the squad type status?
Well, there's a player at the moment, for me, who would be the one, but he's injured, is Anthony Elanga. I mean, I think this team would be 10 times better if Elanga was in it, but I think Shola's doing great in it. He's, like I say, he's a young kid, he's only small. He has grown a bit since the past couple of years, but he is a great player. I think Deji did well as well. He got a goal. He's really strong with, I don't know if you saw the goal, Hock and Hull.
No, I didn't see it.
Hock and Hull from the centre-back position over the top, and he just out-muscled Carragher, Jamie Carragher's son, and then just got it.
It's good to see, isn't it?
Got his left foot in the top corner. Really good goal. Just the strength of him to do it, and we end up winning it because of that goal.
Nice. And coming up then after that, that was the quarter-final, obviously we won there. Chelsea away. Are they still like incredible at the Youth Cup?
Yeah, well, Chelsea got... they must have like 300, 400 players.
They loan out like 30 players every season.
I think there's more than that.
Is it?
Yeah,
it's madness.
But
how many they've got.
Players like to go there because they've got the record of 5 Youth Cups in a row, which only United ever did back in the day when they first started. Yeah, they're a good team. We beat them last year, but it's so close that game that could have gone either way.
Yeah,
thanks to it was a Greenwood hat trick. We're talking to Greenwood; he's still eligible to play for this team.
It's ridiculous.
So we've got Chelsea away. But the thing I'm not too happy about is the old system used to be semi-finals were home and away, and then the final was home and away, which was a bit of a... I didn't like that. I thought it should be one final at a neutral ground, but now it's a semi-finals one leg and the finals one leg, and it's luck of the draw. So we've got Chelsea in the semi at Chelsea's ground, and then if we get through to them, it's going to be probably Arsenal or City. It's going to be at their ground, so it's. I think it's a bit unfair that I don't mind the semi-final. Maybe have that 2-legged, but if you're going to have it one leg, make sure the final's at a neutral ground.
Yeah, it's a bit strange that you'd give a team such an advantage. In a final. Do you give as much chance against Chelsea? They're still
a decent team. I'd like to think so. I think Dylan Hugerworth's going to be back for the Chelsea game. I don't know about Elanga if he's going to be back, but like we're talking about with Tedden at the back, I just think that we're just a decent team and not many people are going to score goals against us. I think that Wigan game, that's the first goal we conceded in the Youth Cup this year. So defensively, we've been quite good.
Yeah, that is good. It's definitely exciting to look forward to. Do you know when that Chelsea game is?
They've not announced it yet.
Have they not?
They've got to play it before a certain date, but they've not announced it.
And with the 23s, when's the next fixture for them?
The 23s play...
Sorry to put you on the spot a little bit.
I'm not 100% sure. It must be next Monday, probably,
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how it is, like I said, certain players, when you get to that age where you're sort of 20, 21, and you're playing once every... Well, they've played three times in the last 2 months.
Usually it's once a week. The 18s play Saturday mornings, and the under 23s play either Friday night or Monday night. But it's just the way the football's been recently, with games being called off and this winter break thing that I'm not a fan of.
And finally then, let's go back to our sort of... It's been one of the constant topics we've had. It's like a little updates. Obviously, Gomes and Chong are 2 hot topics. First team, we saw... did Chong play yesterday for the 23s?
Yeah.
And we saw Gomes as well in that game, of course, like you said, with the assist and a goal as well? Or just the assist?
He got an assist. Gomez got an assist and a goal.
Yeah. So where are we up to with them? Any rumours, any this, any that, any just gut feelings? Where do you think we're up to?
There's a rumour on the wind, that Chong's staying.
Right.
And I still feel like this is just my opinion, but I still think Gomez is going.
Yeah. People were saying that he hasn't been great for the under-23s this season, Gomes. Acting like he's unsettled. I saw a few tweets after the game yesterday saying, "Oh, this is the most settled I've seen him in a while." Do you think people are reading too much into it, or do you think there has been a dip in form?
I think so. There clearly has been a dip in form because he was that good at one point, and he's growing and growing and growing, and then he just dropped a bit. And I think the expectations of people seeing him, how good he was, and when he dropped form, people were disappointed in it. But it's going to happen to a lot of players. You've got to remember, he is a decent player, but he's small.
Yeah.
And when you're playing in this 23s, especially like last night, Ryan Shawcroft's played. You know how big he is, and Doof, who used to play for us as well, he played as well. Big lads, big strong lads.
Yeah.
They're going to push Gomes off the ball. You know, so once again, I think he should stick around. And then I'd do a loan, send him to Royal Antwerp, like I said.
Yeah, we're going to message Royal Antwerp after this, see if we can get some sort of relationship back. And then just finally, like you said, on Chong then, do you see that as a positive sign? Assume, maybe he does sign if for an extension with United. Do you think he's a sort of player that could break through into the first team, or do we just...
Possibly. I do like him. Once again, he got to a point and he's not progressed as much, but I think it's there, he's capable of doing it. But at the moment, we don't seem to have a right-sided forward, do we, at United? And if we don't sign anyone, even if we did sign someone...
Still a decent backup.
Exactly. And I'd keep him around, and I think he wants to, from what I've heard, I think he wants to stay around.
Okay, great. Yeah. Well, that's good news to hear. I think it's something like 7 goals and 7 assists for the under-23s this season. Something like that for Chong. So still decent numbers despite, not always sort of setting the first team alight. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me, Dave. We need to do this more often. Once they start playing games again,
exactly,
we'll be doing it more often, don't worry. Thank you very much for joining us at home. Get your questions in for David and we'll answer those next time. Again, looks pretty positive, doesn't it? There's a few good players coming through.
Yeah, you got to remember as well, the Youth Cup's a big thing in United. They want that. They want that record. I think they're level with Chelsea at the moment.
Right.
United have always had the record of as many. Yeah. So we need to win it this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely want to look forward to it. United will play Chelsea away in the Youth Cup. Date still to be confirmed, but we'll be bringing you all the news before and after that. So be sure to stay tuned to Stretford Paddock for all that. Thanks once again, David.
Anytime.
See you in a bit.